Okay. So the first, we have designed the new UI you can see and our idea.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. I can't see that. Wait. I can't see the. Okay, it's here. The first is we make the 6 basic emotion. It's happiness, sadness, fear, anger. That you can choose one, and we change the little happy or very happy, and use the percent. If you are little happy, you can slide here, or very happy, you can choose. And the last is the choosing.
Okay.
So we want.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And you choose and submit. Yes, and it's all. This is our new UI. So what do you think about this?
I think it looks very clear, and it looks pretty nice as well. And I like the interface and how you can do the slider on different at different level. One question is that previously I remember that there are some other options to decide how many top level you have, right? Where did
we
that
have
option?
6. So what is question about this?
Previously you have some way to decide whether it has 6 or 5 or 4, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
But after, just speak, please.
Sorry, how? Your internet is not very good.
Yes, you mean we have more sliders for little happy, happy, and very happy. That's right.
Yeah.
And we can choose. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
So one question is, like, let's say after you setting this slider.
Yeah.
Which is the value corresponded to sadness?
Yeah, because it is different. Because if you choose happiness, so what do you mean? So we only can choose one emotion.
No, we also need to have the range for choose different level of happiness, and this happiness you need to have numbers for sliders. User choose sliders to define these numbers.
Yeah, that's right.
How you can share your idea by the draw board?
We have this is the front end I did. We first need you to choose the emotion. Next we need slide down box here to choose different levels of happiness. For example, we choose 3. We choose 3. So the first is not happy. Second,
sorry, how drop out? his internet is so bad.
That's okay. That's all right. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the emotion level should be always goes up. Very happiest value is higher than not happy. Yeah, that's what I understand from last meeting.
Yep.
You can draw the broad.
So we will modify it.
Yep. That's good then. So
I can explain to you later.
Framework are you? Yeah, sure. What sort of web page are you? What sort of framework are you using?
Spring MVC. Can you see it?
Yeah.
We use Spring MVC. This is the front end I did, and this is the code. Code for Java, and as the client mentioned, we need to use MongoDB, and I have connected to it.
It's very hard to hear what you're saying.
Yes.
Can be saved. I show you the we choose fear and choose the number of happy fear.
He got disconnected.
Yeah. Yes.
That's all right.
His internet speed is not good.
That's understandable.
Yeah, sorry for that.
No, that's all good. So other than that, are there any? Oh, hey.
Sorry.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Yeah. I just yeah, there are two values now, and I refresh it. It becomes 3, and this is free algorithm B, and I choose the number. We have implement front end, and now we will focus on the mapping algorithm. Hi.
He dropped out again.
That is all right. But either way, the kind of work that you guys have been able to do is very impressive. Because you already have the web page. Hi. Yeah, I was saying. So it seems like you guys was able to spend a lot of time on the framework, and it looks very impressive. And I think it's definitely looking like you guys are pretty good at the front end interface, and the front end interface seems to be very usable as well. And I think the client would definitely be quite pleased on the interface. And since you are also using the database to retrieve data and all that. So I think in terms of the user interface, it's all good. How about the algorithm? So do you have any? So Ton had sent me an email asking me about the algorithm and all that. Are there any other things that you want me to help and clarify about the algorithm and how to do the mapping?
No, things goes well so far.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So yep. Go on.
We still have around 6 weeks to find the algorithm, so we don't need to push it, and we will focus on it later.
Yep.
Hi, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can.
Hi. Can I share my screen?
Oh.
Yes. I have some question. It's like if the happy is 2, and in this function, we can get the fx equals to 4. Is that right? So can we use this the algorithm like this function in the algorithm?
Yes, so that is one possible way to do that.
But I think it's too easy.
But the thing that you have to remember is that you didn't define the y value. So for example, for this, the user define what they should be. So for example, the user may say that for -2, I want a y value of 4, but then for -1, I want a value of 2 rather than 1. So what you need is some way to solve for an equation. So because fx equals to x to the power of 2 is just one, so they have a fixed point. So for example, what was your graph? For x equals to 1, the user might input that they want it to be looking like this. So for x equals to 2, the user may say that I want it to pass through this point. For x equals to 3, it might say that I want the point pass through this point. They might say that I want the point pass through this point. So you have to find some way to fit a curve that show lines through all of the points.
Oh, okay. So are you mean we should use the data we already have to find the code? Then guess other people's choice.
Yeah. So this is basically the entire point of the project, from what I can understand. So these data points are provided by the user. So this defines that let's say if the fifth point is here, then the curve has to fit through there.
Yeah. Okay. So there should be 2 variables here. Yeah. One is user's input. Which what should be the other one? Yeah. What's the other one should be? Yeah, we need 2 variables. One is user's input. How about the another one?
No, both x and y are user input.
So user has 2 inputs.
Yeah, from my understanding, yes.
Yeah. So what's this?
For example, -2 could be like very sad, and then -1 would be sad. 0 would be like happy, slightly happy, and then so when they are setting up so these are just names, but then they refer to some numbers in X and Y. So the user would define these as well as the number for X, and then they would then decide for Y, what should the Y value? Oh, sorry, it wasn't showing before. Okay, I should press enter. Yeah, so then the user would define for Y, they want it to be, let's say, 4 and then 2, 0, 1, something like this. So they would be able to define the corresponding Y value. Essentially, what you need would be so the user will provide you different data points, and then you need to in the data point. Does that make sense? So whatever data points the user gives you,
yes,
you have to fit through all the data points. So in this case, then it will look something like this.
I still wondering.
Yep. So what are you rendering?
Yeah, I want to say, I still want to know, what is the other variable? The variable, yes, we have the user input. You said there should be 2 variables here. In other words, 2 inputs. So
yeah, 2 inputs.
So yeah. One is the user input by the
X.
slide bar. Yeah. What is another one?
Little to very happy, divide them equally. This is X, and slide the bar, and
that
we
would
get
be the
number.
Y.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, I understand.
Slide that would
Yeah.
be the Y.
Oh, that's all right. It's 2.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Understand. Thank you. Oh,
No, that's all good.
yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, I think what you have so far is pretty good in terms of the interface. So you mentioned that you had sent an email to the professor, and then he hasn't replied you yet. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So once he had replied, you can let me know, and then I'll try to attend the meeting so that I can help you guys on understanding what he needs. But yeah, I think in terms of the interface, it looks pretty nice. And all you need are the actual algorithm and to make it work.
Okay.
But yeah, that's very good work. Other than that, do you have any questions regarding on other parts of the project?
No.
Okay. Let me. So you know how you have to return and submit a progress report later on?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want me to briefly talk about what's the progress report?
Oh, yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Is it the proposal?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so first of all, you should always focus, you should always have a look at the oops. You should always have a look at the marking criteria for the assignment. So this will be the one that you have to submit next week. So this is a group report. You only have to submit it once from one of the member. You don't have to submit it 4 times for each member. So it will automatically populate with all your group members. So when you're writing the report, focus on description here because it describes things that are important for that section. And by looking at the mark that it was, it sort of gives you an idea of which one is more important. So for example, methodology and milestone would be the highest worth of mark, 35%. And then things like related works or literature review, like 30 marks, and so on and so on. So when you're writing a report, focus on writing things that are about the description of the section. Let me talk about the actual report. So this is the template for the proposal report. There are different sections. So first of all, introduction are pretty self-explanatory. You would describe what the project is about, and you would sort of provide basic background information about the project. On related literature, you would write up related works on your project. So for your project, there are 2 main components. The first one is on psychometric analysis. You can provide basic information of what is psychometric analysis and what they can do, and provide some explanation of the meaning behind it. Another major component in your project is, first of all, the mapping of a function, of the nonlinear function. The second one will be on different web technology that we are going to use to display the mapping on a web page. So in your related literature, you can talk about those components on different topics. For your research project and problem, for your project, it's going to be about the web-based application that you have to develop. So first of all, the aim would be provide a web interface for the user to choose different algorithms for mapping, as well as providing like some interface for them to choose different algorithms. Project questions, it would be something that the clients define as state. So I think the client mentioned something about how the interface will allow the user to choose different ways, to choose different algorithms to compare how different algorithm works. So by having the web-based application, the user can quickly test different algorithms and quickly test how the output looks like, which is a good thing. For methodology, your project is a software development project. So you would first of all describe method that you use to solve the problem. For your case, you're using the Java framework to build a web page. So you would talk about how, what sort of, so for example, they say in this example, they're using Agile to create a web-based application. But you can write about your own framework that you are using to display the website. So methods for the data, it will be from the user input. So the user would input the data points for the mapping. You didn't really, so analysis for your case would be the algorithm you use to map the data. Like different algorithm that you can use to create the mapping. The deployments. For your case, the client requested that the result will be in a Docker container, right? I guess you guys are not too familiar with Docker, is that correct?
Yes.
Sorry? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay.
The client indeed us
Yeah,
to use.
Yeah, so I suggest you to sort of read up what is Docker and why is it good for deployment. So you can just search up on Docker. Maybe watch one of the YouTube videos to describe what it is and how it works.
Okay, we will check in later.
Yeah. This is only for your deployments. Yeah, you should, because this is one of the requirements from the client, so you should read up a bit about it. But I myself am quite familiar with Docker, so if you have any questions, you should ask me about it.
Okay.
That's okay. For testing, I think you need to write some unit testing. Have you guys done unit testing before?
Yes.
Yeah.
We
for testing,
we used it in the Spring includes unit testing.
Yes, that's right. So write up a bit about it. For resources, mostly you write up like what system you need to use. For example, if you're using Windows 10, it will be Windows 10, Windows, different things. For role and responsibility, you will list out the roles for each of your members. It will be pretty similar to your individual report. And then, yeah, so basically list out who is in charge of what. The deliverable will be your web-based application. For your implications, it will be how would it be useful for the client? So for your case, you're creating a website that can map to a nonlinear mapping, right? So how it will be useful would be allowing the client to be able to quickly visualize different algorithms, quickly test different algorithms for psychometric analysis. So these will be the implications of your project. Finally, for milestone and schedule, you will create some table that looks like this. And that's the first step. So you will collect dates, the tasks, as well as when you should finish it by. Then for the task, you should briefly detail what are those tasks, what do those tasks mean? As in, for example, create GUI So this is the graphical interface, right? You should briefly talk about what do you mean by creating GUI. So for example, the GUI could be like the interface for the website, or it could be like about the toolbars on the website or different buttons on the website. You should briefly talk about the meaning behind these parts. And then finally, I think a Gantt chart would be useful to help us understand the workflow of your milestones. Have you guys created a Gantt chart before?
Yeah, we have.
Yes.
Yep, that is good then. Yeah, so that's pretty much about it. Any specific questions regarding on any sections that you might want to ask me?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, there is
That's
no question
good
now.
then.
If we have a question, we will send you an email later.
Oh, that would be completely good. Yeah, so any other thing that you want me to talk about in today's meeting?
Do you have some other things you want to say? Some suggestion or advice want to tell us?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Do you have some other advice you want to give us?
Oh, okay. So I think right now what you have is pretty decent. I think for the next step, you would want to ask for some advice from the professor, because like it's best for you to get more comments on your progress before when you still have time to change things around. So I think obviously it depends on when would the client replies your email, but I think it's best if you can try to schedule a meeting with the clients so that you would get to know, get to receive some advice from him and see whether you are on the right track or not.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. I think that is pretty important, because like you wouldn't want to head to a wrong direction and then spend a lot of time on something that is not what your client looking for, right?
Yes.
But yeah, other than that, I think in terms of the graphical interface, I quite like it, and I think it's impressive on how you was able to create that. Yeah. Any other thing that you want me to talk about before we finish today's meeting?
Question.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So far. So far, so good.
That's amazing. That's good. Yeah, so always feel free to email me or message me if you have any further questions.
Yes.
Especially when you are like researching on Docker or on other new technology that you're not familiar with. If you encounter any questions, feel free to let me know about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
All right. That's it for me. If there is no other thing, then And I will finish today's meeting and hope you guys have like a great weekend. All right. Yeah, everyone. I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, thank you.
See you.
Thank you, T.
No problem. It's all
Thank you.